Welcome back. I'm your host, Bobby C. On October 5th, the US Handball Association will hit the courts at Castle Hill Playground for a handball tournament. Joining us with a preview, we have promoter Justin Rodriguez. Welcome to the show, Justin.
How you doing, Bobby?
Great to have you on this morning.
I appreciate it.
So I have covered handball. It is an amazing sport, especially right here in the Bronx. First, tell us, especially for those that don't know much about the sport, tell us a little bit about the sport.
Well, handball, you only need a ball and a wall. Out here in New York City, there's handball courts almost on every corner, and that's including the 5 boroughs and Long Island. And it's just something that a lot of kids get into as an outlet, and then they find the competitive side of it, and they start realizing there's tournaments, and sooner or later you become an A player, and it's everything that you wanted.
So a simple sport and an organization that's promoting it. Tell us a little bit about the association.
So USHA, which is the United States Handball Association, is probably the biggest handball association within the United States. They are affiliated with this specific tournament. We are teaming up with multiple organizations, including local business owners, and promoting the sport. And you know, they have a rule book that they follow with 1 wall and 4 wall. There's 3 wall, there's big ball, there's small ball. There's so much to handball that a lot of people don't know.
And you see it, I mean, I know for me, having grown up here in the Bronx, Castle Hill, but also Orchard Beach, really all around the borough, and a sport that's really played by both young and old.
Yeah, absolutely. There are children as young as, I mean, I see kids playing at like 7 years old. Entering into tournaments around 10. It's in PSAL, it's in our public school system. And then when you get outside of high school, you could start entering into these other, you can enter them as juniors, but when you get out of high school, you could start entering them with the potential to win some money.
So give the viewers at home a little more about the specific event coming up here in Castle Hill in October.
Okay, so October 5th, 2019, we're hosting a first annual Players Cup Invitational Tournament. We are inviting 16 of the top players within the nation to compete.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's the best of the best. We also included a female bracket, so it's going to be 4 female open players, which means they're A players. I mean, they can be any players, A, B, or C. So as far as the male division, it's going to be 16 top singles players playing for the first annual Players Cup. First place gets a trophy and some cash.
So who can attend? I mean, I'm like, you know, like our
It
last
is
segment,
open to the
everyone,
public.
right?
We
That's
want
awesome.
we want new eyes. You know, with this sport, it's so big to the people that are in it. But for a lot of people, especially in New York City, you walk by a handball court and it's extracurricular activity, and to us, it's an actual sport. It's what we love to do. So we want new eyes. We want new sponsors. We want new people playing. We want to see a shift in what we call the new top players and move on to the young kids coming up and becoming top players.
So you have this amazing event. What do you expect people to get from this?
This is exposure at its highest. We, for the first time within the handball community, have put together multiple different organizations. I'll give you just a list of few. USHA, we have SAHA, which is the St. Albans Handball Association, Castle Hill, which we're playing at Castle Hill, and they have their own organization. The Buddha Memorial, which is one of the biggest tournaments every year in July in Coney Island. They're involved with this. Local businesses, Sky Testing, State Farm, Think Flyers, Zariga Indoors. We all got together for this event. This is the first of its kind, invitational. We want people to see where we can bring this sport.
You know, I think it's unfortunate because when I was growing up, I played stickball, we played stoop ball. You know, there were so many games that were played in the park, at the playground, that you don't see anymore. So, you know, kids today are really stuck usually inside playing video games.
Yeah.
It tends to be the trend. You know, why is it important to have this message about making sure that the youth especially stop that kind of trend and get out and play games like this?
I mean, handball, there's so much to it. When you watch it, you think it's simple. But when you play it, it's so much harder. You got to develop hand-eye coordination. You have to... Athleticism. I mean, there's so much thinking. You want to anticipate what your opponent's about to do. It's like chess. It's like basketball going back and forth. It's like tennis. It's a mixture of so many things, and you only need a ball and a wall. You don't have to go to your parents and worry about they can't afford the new glove for you or a new bat or a brand new basketball. It's a $2 ball and the wall that's already there. It's just something that we need to start promoting, bringing these kids up, of course, after school, making sure that they do good in school first. But I tell people with handball, one of the best parts is that there's no ceiling to your game. Every time you get on that court, you get better. There's nothing that's stopping you from continuing to grow.
So you mentioned all these top-ranked players. Is there one or two that you're like, these are the stars of the game?
Of course. There's Timothy Gonzalez, Timbo, we call him. He is, I believe he's from the Bronx. His home court.
We featured him on the show.
Yeah, Timbo he was just in Vegas literally yesterday and won 3 out of 4 events. Three out of the 4 he played in. The last one, Vegas is 100 degrees, so he overheated, muscles started cramping. He probably would have won that too. He would have went 4 for 4 and slammed.
At one point he was a Red Bull athlete too.
Yes, I believe he still is, yeah. So he's still a Red Bull athlete. Competing for his top spot is Kadeem Bush. Taiwan Cook won Big Blue Ballers. Gustavo, or we call him Thavo Ruiz. He won the Gladiator tournament. There is just so many people out there right now that want that #1 spot, but Timbo still got it.
UShandball.org and Twitter, Facebook too, correct?
Correct.
So final words.
Final words, this Saturday, October 5th, if you are free and available, head over to Junior High School 127, which we refer to as Castle Hill, and watch the top competitors compete.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. You did a great job.
Thanks for
I love
having me.
handball, such a great sport.
Well,
I think it's very underrated. People really have to get involved, watch it, see it, and play it.
To see how hard it is.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.
We have to take a quick break, but coming up, I'll have the latest headlines in the world of sports.